Hello students, welcome to the class. I'm Yogita. Our subject is nutrition for nurses, and today we want to discuss about electrolytes. Now, electrolytes are the substance that become ion in solution and acquire capacity to conduct electricity. Now here, these electrolytes are ionized molecules that found throughout the blood, tissue and cells in our body. Now these molecules are either positive or either negative, so that it helps us to conduct the electricity. So it also helps to maintain the pH level or acid base balance in the body. Electrolytes also play an important role in maintaining the neuromuscular functioning, endocrine and excretory system properly. So that's the reason we want this electrolytes. Now this next is the types of electrolytes or electrolyte plasma. Now here mainly two types, cations and anions. Now cations are positively charged ions like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. Cations are, I am repeating, cations are sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. Next, anions. Anions are negatively charged ions. They are chloride, bicarbonate, sulfate. Anions are negatively charged ion. They are chloride, bicarbonate and sulfate. Okay. Now, a regulation of electrolyte balance. That's very important, that how we maintain the electrolyte balance in the body. Now this is very closely associated with the water balance. When the water balance get affected, definitely indirect ways this electrolyte balance also got affected. So when we maintain the water balance, so automatically we can also help to balance this electrolyte in the body. Now the certain factors how we can balance this electrolyte balance is, one is aldosterone. Now aldosterone, it is in this mineralocorticoid is produced by adrenal cortex. Then aldosterone is increase the sodium reabsorption in renal tubule. So what happened? Here aldosterone which help to increase the sodium reabsorption in renal tubule. Now here as a result sodium chloride is reabsorbed and potassium is excreted. So again balance will occur there. Next, renin-angiotensin system. Here in this system, renin is secreted by the kidney as a response to the low blood pressure or decreased in extracellular fluid. When there is a difference in extracellular fluid and low BP, automatically renin will be secreted. Now, renin convert the angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1, which later converted to angiotensin 2 by angiotensin convert enzymes. Now here which will help to secrete the aldosterone. Now aldosterone promote the sodium chloride reabsorption by potassium excretion. Now again once again here sodium chloride is reabsorbed and potassium excreted, so that we try to maintain the balance. Next is antidiuretic hormones. As we learned in water balance, how the antidiuretic hormones are helping to balance the water, same like that here indirect way, it also helps to manage the electrolyte balance. Okay, the last factor is atrial natriuretic factor. This is in this atrial natriuretic factor, the polypeptide hormone is secreted by the right atrium of the heart. Now the right atrium of the heart is secreted polypeptide hormone. Now that will increase the urine sodium excretion. When the right atrium is secreted is polypeptide hormone that help to excrete this urine sodium. Now automatically all these four factors like aldosterone, renin-angiotensin system, antidiuretic hormone and atrial natriuretic factor, these four components will help to balance the electrolyte balance in body. So the next concept is electrolyte imbalance. By the word itself will understand, it may be either deficiency, it may be either excess. Now these two conditions leads to electrolyte imbalance. Now here first sodium. When there is a excessive retention of the sodium, that condition is called hypernatremia. Now that may be caused because of inadequate water intake, excess fluid loss, sodium retention. In added to that, if anyone have any antihypertensive medications, they are taking excessively, no doctor order, there is a chance that hypernatremia can occur. Now, if there is a deficiency of sodium, then that leads to hyponatremia. Now, here low sodium level, hyponatremia. It may be due to insufficient dietary intake of your sodium, intake of diuretics, and you're taking certain psychotic medications. Maybe you're having some psychiatric disease and you're taking certain long duration of medications, or water intoxication, that may leads to hyponatremia. So this is the sodium imbalance. Next, potassium imbalance. Now here, excessive level of potassium, that may leads to hyperkalemia. Hyperkalemia, excess of potassium. Now that may be because of ketoacidosis, myocardial infarction, severe burn, kidney disease, kidney failure, or gastrointestinal bleeding, or any kind of adrenal insufficiency disorder. Now because of that, increased potassium level in body, that leads to hyperkalemia. Next is deficiency. When there is a decreased amount of potassium, that leads to hypokalemia. Now that may be because of severe dehydration, kidney disease, long-term diuretic therapy, congestive cardiac failure, adrenal gland impairment. Now because of that, individual may experience a deficiency of potassium in their level, then that called hypokalemia. The next component is calcium. Now when there is excessive level of calcium, that leads to hypercalcemia. Now hypercalcemia, that may be because of metastatic cancer, multiple myeloma, thyroid disorder, or multiple bone fracture. Now it happens because of all these conditions, the calcium, the electrolyte, that calcium component, electric component, that might be increased. Now, if it is decreased, if it is less than the required, then that condition is called hypocalcemia. Now, that may be because it may occur because of thyroid disorder, kidney failure, and some sepsis, infection, severe burn, and vitamin D deficiency. Okay. Next is magnesium. Now when there is increased level of magnesium, then that leads to hypermagnesemia. Hypermagnesemia. Now that may be because of renal disease, addition disease, or you are taken an overdose of magnesium salt. Okay. Next, when there is a decreased content, decreased level, that leads to hypomagnesemia. Hypo, that means decreased level of magnesium. Now it may be because of decreased dietary intake of magnesium, malabsorption syndrome, pancreatitis, burns, digestive disorders, diuretics. Now these all may cause hypomagnesemia. Next one is chloride. Now chloride, when there is an increased level of chloride, hyperchloremia. Increased level of chloride, that leads to condition called hyperchloremia. Now here it may occur because of severe dehydration, kidney failure, hemodialysis, traumatic brain injury, and certain drug, maybe some certain drug which you are taking for a long time. Because of this, chloride level might be increased in your body level. Next is, if it is decreased, the same chloride is decreased in your fluids, then that is called hypochloremia. Decreased level of chloride is hypochloremia. It occurs as a result of sodium potassium depletion. Now decreased level of sodium potassium in your body deficiency occur, then that's because that leads to hypochloremia. The last electric component is phosphate. Now this increased level of phosphate occur, that leads to hyperphosphatemia. Increased level of phosphate is hyperphosphatemia. Now that may be because of skeletal fracture, renal failure, hypoparathyroidism, hemodialysis, diabetic ketosis, systemic infection and intestinal obstruction disorder. Now because of that, phosphate level may pick up. That is called hyperphosphatemia. Next, if it is decreased, then that is called hypophosphatemia. Hypo means there will be a decreased level of phosphate in your blood. Now that may be because of hypomagnesemia, hypokalemia, severe burn, alcoholism. If the person is taking lot of alcoholism for a long duration, as well as diabetic ketosis, kidney disease, prolonged diuretic therapy, hemodialysis and vitamin D deficiency. In that case, individual may experience hypophosphatemia. Now, these all are the electrolyte imbalance conditions, hyper and hypo. I request you, please go through. If you are a GNM students, definitely you may get one word questions. Decreased level of potassium is called dash. Increased level of calcium in blood dash. In that case, you have to do the fill in the blanks with the one right answer. Please go through the video, listen once again, please make some notes so that you are able to study and write well for your exams. I wish good for you all, and I'll meet you in the next class with a new concept. Thank you all.